American genius Benjamin Franklin once said that nothing is certain except death and taxes. More than 200 years later, his wise words still ring true. And even in the event of your passing, you'll still be troubled with taxes. Only this time, the family you've left behind will be the ones dealing with them, such as a payable called estate tax. Hi, I am Monica Flores, and our group will be imparting knowledge about estate tax. Knowing your estate taxes comes with some benefits. For one, it'll help you prepare your family for what they'll need to settle financially once they're ready to receive your assets when you pass. On your end, it will help you come up with a smart transfer plan, which in turn will result to lower estate taxes. Now, what is estate tax in the Philippines? Estate tax is a tax on the right of the deceased person to transmit his or her estate to his or her lawful heirs and beneficiaries at the time of death and on certain transfers, which are made by laws equivalent to testamentary disposition. Estate tax is not a tax on property. It is a tax imposed on the privilege of transmitting property upon the death of the owner. And again, the estate tax is based on the laws in force at the time of death, notwithstanding the postponement of the actual possession or enjoyment of the estate by the beneficiary. In layman's explanation, in case a person dies, transferring their properties and assets to their family will require a tax payment. Also, it is important to note that estate tax and inheritance tax in the Philippines are one and the same. Now, here's the law that governs the imposition of estate tax. It is a well-settled rule that estate taxation is governed by the statute in force at the time of death of the decedent. Hence, the estate tax accrues as of the death of the decedent. Upon death, succession takes place and the right of the state to tax the privilege to transmit the estate vests instantly upon death. In the Philippines, the Congress has enacted Republic Act No. 10963 or Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion or TRAIN Law, which took effect on January 1, 2018. However, before the effectivity of the TRAIN Law, Republic Act No. 8424 or the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997 governs the imposition of estate tax. Before TRAIN, the estate tax calculation follows a progressive tax rate, meaning the higher the tax base, the higher the rate. Now, upon the imposition of the TRAIN Law, the estate tax rate is fixed at 6%. Now, the question is, who pays for the estate taxes? Obviously, the dead won't be able to pay the estate tax. The people left behind, namely the executor, administrator, or the heirs, will be responsible for the filing and payment of the estate tax return. If there is no executor or administrator appointed, then any person in actual or constructive possession of any property of the decedent may file and pay the estate tax. The estate tax return or BIR Form 1801 shall be filed within 1 year from the decedent's death. In meritorious cases, the Commissioner shall have the authority to grant a reasonable extension not exceeding 30 days for filing the return. The return shall be filed with any authorized agent bank of the Revenue District Office having jurisdiction over the place of domicile of the decedent at the time of his death. If the decedent has no legal residence in the Philippines, the return shall be filed with the Office of the Commissioner. And in a case where the decedent is non-resident with executor or administrator in the Philippines, the return shall be filed with the authorized agent bank or of the Revenue District Office where such executor or administrator is registered or is domiciled if not yet registered with the BIR. Again, the due date of filing and payment of the return shall depend on the applicable law at the time of the decedent's death. Extensions. There are two kinds of extensions in this case, filing and payment. For filing, the general rule is that estate tax returns shall be filed within 1 year from the decedent's death. In meritorious cases, the Commissioner shall have the authority to grant a reasonable extension not exceeding 30 days. For for payment. When the Commissioner of Internal Revenue finds that the payment on the due date of the estate tax would impose undue hardship upon the estate or any of the heirs, he may extend the time for payment of such tax not exceeding 5 years in case the estate is settled through the courts, or 2 years in case the estate is settled extrajudicially. However, where the taxes are assessed by reason of negligence, intentional disregard of rules and regulations, or fraud on the part of the taxpayer, no extension shall be granted by the Commissioner on both filing and payment. Truth be told, dealing with your deceased loved one's estate requires a lot of documents, and here are the mandatory estate tax requirements. Note that the BIR may require additional documents, and this depends on the type of property that needs to be transferred. If you have questions regarding estate tax requirements, you may contact BIR's Customers Assistance Division at 8538-3200, or you may also reach them by email at contact_us@bir.gov.ph. Thank you!